The Ramaschal Mochor Chodesh. Something very interesting. What are the top?
6 guys
visiting.
What are the top Dibra Maschals by the Rebbe?
Oh, whoa, it's a big one.
Meaning, what are the most used Dibra Maschals? What are the most common Dibra Maschals in the Rebbe's Maamar?
Chodesh, Basilagani, Aber Rosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah is the least. It's Rebbe's Chiddush. Basilagani, Pad V'Shalom, and Mochor Chodesh. Basilagani is on top.
Might switch it.
Basilagani has 50. There's 53. There's Gan Basilaganis. I think we discussed that. Then there's Pad V'Shalom. I don't remember which one's more. I think Pad V'Shalom is a bit more, but both of them are in the 30s or 40s. I think probably in the 40s. Mochor Chodesh. Everyone would say Mochor Chodesh often Shabbos, Shabbos Bereishis, or Shabbos after Pesach, or.
Anything to do with was it for being in and the next day was Rosh Chodesh?
No, so there would always be Mochor Chodesh. There would always be, meaning if the Rebbe rings every Shabbos Mavarchim.
Right. So let's say
now in Shabbos Mavarchim Gofa, very often it's right. Every how often is Shabbos?
I imagine more than once a year.
No, every 5, 6, because there's 2 Rosh Chodesh, right?
Imagine 1 or 2 a year.
No, it's probably So, but you might have a 2 days Shabbos Sunday. So, no, but even then it would be Mochor Chodesh. So there's probably at least 2 a year, right? So 3 a year. So Mochor Chodesh is there often. So I wouldn't say every single time it was Shabbos Erev Chodesh would be Mochor Chodesh, but it was a very, very common Dibra Maskell. It's very interesting. Like Pad V'Shalom, Versteitach, Basilagani, Veret. Mochor Chodesh is like sounds like shtickle like the odd man out.
Right.
Like yeah. Aber versteht sich v'chol. So the Meila is sicher nicht das. It's very interesting. It's very common.
Does that have to do with the president giving a dress or not?
Mendel says last week was Gevald Kashir. I was trying to remember what was so special about the Shiur. And I was like, yeah, it was a history channel. Okay, fine. So I was trying to find some history about this. Didn't get that much. We'll talk about the history of Mochor Chodesh.
It's also interesting one so far.
It's also very interesting. So Mochor Chodesh. Now, like I said, so the Ramaskal is brought very often. What's an Akudah? What's an Akudah of Maamar Mochor Chodesh? So very interesting. You see over here, right off the bat, in the beginning of the Maamar, the Rebbe says that in the Maamar Chodesh it says Chala Regila, but the Toichin Maamarim is Mishtana. The Toichin Maamarim is Mishtana. So there's a lot of Mochor Chodesh, but the Toichin Maamarim is Mishtana. But still, there's Nekudas Yesoidiyas that exist in all of them. Right? You learned any Mochor Chodesh by the Rebbe, especially the Rebbe. There's Muge, there's a Ribuy Bilti Muge. What's an Nekudah? Mochor Chodesh v'nifkadeta ki yipagin meishavech. I know we're a very popular class over here, but we didn't really invite these chavod over here. Okay.
Double lesson.
Nifkadeta ki yipagin meishavech.
They weren't invited to sign something.
Oh, very good. Ki yipagin meishavech. David, now I know why you came.
First, let's see if it works.
No, now that you feel needed. Oh. Listen to the flies. What's this thing? Listen to the flies. Right? So there's lashin, neifal lashin. But what does it actually mean? Nifkadeta, translate. Nifkadeta ki yipagin meishavecha. You will be remembered because your place was missing. Right? You miss that. A bacher doesn't come to the Shiur 1 week. The next week, everyone's like, what's Geshem, what's Tutzich, what's going on? Right? I don't want to give you guys ideas to quit the Shiur, but whatever. It's just times when it happens, like you don't show up.
We can't have it not there.
So the Rebbe in this Maamar has a Meirdik of art, which then gives us insight to the whole sugya that I was saying in the Maamar. Okay, so the Pashtos, who is speaking about in Tanakh?
David.
Right, David, Yehonasan, the good stories there. Shaul, Mochor Chodesh, you're not going to be there. And we'll see, basically we're going to see what the feelings towards you are. Right? We'll get the vibe, we'll figure out what's going on. In Chassidus is mevoer that this is the avodah of Yidden. That Mochor Chodesh, that also every Chodesh is when Rosh Chodesh same thing happens. V'nifkadeta ki yipagin meishavecha. The day before Rosh Chodesh is a v'nifkadeta. It's not just the Yehonasan and David over there. Actually, every Rosh Chodesh there's an element of v'nifkadeta. Where does it happen? Begashmius in the moon. V'nifkadeta. Sorry. Ki yipakim meishavecha. Yipakim meishavecha, the moon disappears. He's there, but we don't see him. So yipakim meishavecha. The yipakim meishavecha leads to the next day being the moiled levana. So every Chodesh is ki yipakim meishavecha. Rosh Chodesh is v'nifkadita. Right? Mochor Chodesh. Tomorrow on Rosh Chodesh v'nifkadita. Then, and that's the rebirth, the renewal of the moon. Yisrael daimim levana, v'moinim levana. We are the levana. The levana is really we're the nimshal. The levana is the most, right? So we're associated with the moon. Same thing with the yidden. The yidden, unlike the sun that's just always shining, the yidden, in order for v'nifkadita, there has to be yipakim meishavech. There has to be the vacuum. There has to be the lack before it shines. Before it expresses it's inyanim, it's milas, it's inner mitzias. Okay, but what does that practically mean? So you're supposed to quit Yiddishkeit every week, like what's the once a month? Rifyon every Erev Chodesh, like what's the word?
Once a month.
Once a month is fine. You're fine with once a month?
Where were you shovers?
Narva then, we're talking here about so sometimes medet, it's the lachar ma'aser. Sometimes you have a yid by a yid. It's also a certain element. But bichlal, what's the seder avodah yid? What's this yipakim meishavecha? The bittul. There's a bittul, and through the bittul of Erev Chodesh, if there's no metzias klal, then v'nifkadet. V'nafshi ka'ofer l'kol tiyeh psach libi b'seirasech. Right? What do you want? You want to be a nothing, or you want to have an open heart and open mind? Open heart, you can't walk in all bottle into Zal and start understanding a Tesis. It doesn't work that way. There's many other things you can't do in order to understand the Tesis. But definitely, if you're a nobody, then you can come to the table. It's akdom. Fine. Now, here in the Maamar, we speak about bittul. So what is this bittul? So very often in many Maamarim, what's this bittul we're speaking about? The bittul of nafshi ka'ofer. It's the nafshi ka'ofer, right? The nefesh. Nafshi ka'ofer k'psach li b'seir. The first yid dar sich verbinden mit the neighbors. The yid sich mispatot to the neighbors. Davin, the gili of the neshama, the gili nefesh alikis, and through that, which is the idea of bittul, right? We know from Tanya what's bittul. Bittul is the kesher to the neighbors. The nefesh alikis is bittul. Nefesh bahamis is yeshes. So when you're magbir nefesh alikis and nefesh bahamis, you have the bittul. Then v'nifkadet. But what's the bittul v'seret arum in der Maamar? What's he saying in this Maamar? What's the vart? Who got through the Maamar? At least half of the Maamar. Epis in the Maamar. The bittul yesh of nefesh bahamis. That's the adgash in this Maamar. That's the mahalach of the Maamar. That when we speak about bittul, it's on page, in the Kovetz, page 80, 81, that what is this bittul?
As opposed to bittul yesh of nefesh alikis, like what is?
Or the bittul, I'm not going into the exact bituyim, because the bittul nefesh alikis, the neshama is mochor with the ebesh there. Right? The bittul of the neshama, there's the serious nefesh of the neshama, the neshama's oil l'maylo, different levels of bittul. But the bittul we're speaking about over here is Lama, as he brings from Kutatayra and many other places, Lama neshama yarda lamata. Why the neshama? Right? You open any Maamar Torah Kutatayra, Lama neshama yarda lamata. It's like I thought we figured it out last week. No, chama. Lama yarda neshama lamata. And there's different biyurim brought in Chassidus. But the Rebbe says that the biyurim, all the biyurim that are about to moisef a mile in the nefesh in the neshama, and for this mile and that mile to get schar, that can't be the real deal. Because the neshama was doing perfect l'mayla. Neshama atzma eina tzricha tikkun. It doesn't need a tikkun. It's doing just fine. So why ultimately the only real reason you could give for the neshama coming down here is for the nefesh bahamis. To go for the nefesh bahamis. Here it doesn't speak. You see sort of a skull of it. More speaks to the Inyan. It doesn't go into the skull of the Inyan. There's a very geschmack in Maamar. When it has time, there's a geschmack in Maamar. V'haya eikev tavshin chav zayin, and a sicha, which is very similar to each other. V'haya eikev tavshin chav zayin, and a sicha. Chelik Tezvav Vayetze Chelik Gimel. I might have brought it up in other Maamarim. A very sadistic sicha in Maamar on Dirub Tachtoinim, and this nekuda that the neshama came down here for what? Not for itself, rather for the nefesh bahamis and the guf chalki ba'olam, because the nefesh alikis, the neshama itself, where is it going? In other words, Yidul Tzerich Aliyah, yeah? You say the Neshama came down, Yidul Tzerich Aliyah. What's Yidul Tzerich Aliyah? It goes right back up to where it started. Right? L'chatchila the Neshama was Atavrasa, Yitzarta, Nafachtavi, which is Bria, Yitzarta. Tahira, it's Tahira. Atzilus. It's in the highest level. It comes from the highest place. So the neshama comes down here and has the aliyah. What's the aliyah? Goes back to the... What kind of aliyah could I have? It's perfect. How do you have an aliyah with imperfection? And the nekuda is, and there's the different nuances, different biyurim, that in Echanami, the neshama came down here for his chadshus. That's the word, his chadshus, for something new, something fresh. Something that didn't exist before. That the neshama is connected to the Rebbe, that's not a kunst, that's not a chit. The neshama is bottle, and the neshama is not bottle. What's the Lashon? Kamei, Rivava, and all the malachim, the neshamas, they're all bottle. Right? We're up there. The neshama is doing perfect. Shama came down here to deal with the nefesh bahamis, the guf, the chelke ba'olam. He's taking something that's an outsider. Nefesh bahamis on its own, connected to the Eibush, there's no connection to Klal. The guf is a shaykhs, no shaykhs. Verkehrt. The guf vil. What's the service? Guf vil puffin. Guf vil. Fressen. Good. Guf vil. What's the third? If you remember something from his sifted days. Wow, we're getting old. Okay.
Low blow,
Yeah,
up north. It's a different word, different nekuda. But now there's gar chashva mashpiyah. Okay, to be. And what's now is initially to be. Yeah, that's the shot. So, right. So the neshama. So basically, so the neshama is doing a schachos. The neshama is doing something fresh, something new, and it's elevating and it's working with nefesh bahamis and the guf. So what's the So number one, you could just say, it's schachos, doing something fresh, something new. But what's the vart over here? Why therefore does it go to a higher place? So the vart that Rebbe says in the Sikh and the Maamar, because it also seems in this Maamar that Rebbe's going that in the Kudah as well, is because, or I don't know if it's clear, but that Be'etzem, the guf, so he speaks there about the Nefesh speaks to the neshama, the Nefesh Bahamis, and the Nefesh Bahamis is this oider be'ava to the Eibishter. Nefesh Bahamis is not supposed to love Hashem. Nefesh Bahamis is supposed to love candy. It's supposed to love self-preservation, ego, existence, reality, not bittul. Right? Bittul doesn't talk Nefesh Bahamis. Connect to Epis Hecher, Reiskim von sich, transcendence. That's not his language before. When the Nefesh Alikis works with the Nefesh Bahamis and convinces Nefesh Bahamis and took the Nefesh Bahamis, or uses the guf to do mitzvahs, or is mevarech chelke ba'olam, we're doing something heipech hateva. It's like ask a little kid that's playing with toys. You don't need the toys. Let's play a game of Scrabble, or let's play chess. 3 years old. It's not shy. You can't like chess. He's not built for that. He could like his maybe not Lego. What do they have today? Magnetiles. Right. Oh.
He also has a cat.
Avi's gonna have a tough time over here.
She listens to the sharing condom.
So it's not shaykh, right? Try to explain certain things. What was I saying? Try to explain a taiva to tasari. Certain things that the person can't understand. It's not shaykh. It's not in their frame of reference. It's not shaykh for them to get it. How is it possible? How can Hashem means Eretz Avos Hashem? How can the guf become bottled to the Eibishter? Well, it's not in its world. It's not in its field. It's like all of a sudden, I'll take this bacher over here. I'll put him tomorrow on the Dodgers, and I'll hit home runs from 90 miles an hour pitching. Not shy. I don't want to exalt anyone over here, but I don't think it's shy. It's not shy. You're not built for that. How's it shy? How does that happen? It happens because this is nefesh alikis is bottle, and nefesh alikis is the shaykh is because that's who he is. That's its nature. The neshama is mochor b'tei Eibishter. As I say, gebarn. That's who he is. The neshama is bottle. Nefesh bahamis is not bottle. Not shaykh to bittul. How's it shaykh to bittul? Not mitzido, mitzad the Eibishter. Because the Eibishter is Ein Sof, the Eibishter is Bli Gvul, and because the Eibishter is infinite, and because the Eibishter is everywhere, and everything, and nothing stands in his way. So even if there's Nefesh Bahamis, even if there's a Guf, even if there's a Elam Haza, things that have no Shaykhis Klal Uklal, they're going to be affected. They're going to be bottled to the Eibishter. Because the Eibishter's Malchus is so great that nothing can stand in its way, and nothing cannot submit itself to it. It's so overwhelming. It overwhelms everything else. So Kumteis, when the neshama deals with nefesh bahamis, it's not just being said davar chodesh. What we're saying is what do we mean by davar chodesh? What we're saying here is now the nefesh alikis is leaving its natural tendencies and natural connection to the Eibishter, which is also nice, and so Megala, the natural feelings it has, even under pressure, it's still connected to the Eibishter. That's one darga. But much tiffer, what it's doing in this world is not just expressing its inherent values and strength, it's tapping into something much greater than itself. It's tapping into Achdos Hashem. It's tapping into Eined Movade. The Eibishter is Balabatishkai, not its nature, not its connection to Hashem. The Eibishter is calling the shots. And the Eibishter is everywhere and everything. So it's able to transform. So Nefesh Kiss could go to Nefesh Bahamis, could go to Iraq, could go to anything. Because the Eibishter is everywhere. Right, the famous Maisa, the guy outside 770. Who is God, yeah? Or is there? Well, so yeah, Abaravu. Yeah, Abaravu. The Rebbe said in a beim, in a stein. Like where is God? He's looking for God on the maybe on the roof. The first Rebbe said. Then he said Aber. He has to get. The first Rebbe said in a beim. They said Abaravu or via Zoyip. Oy vazay frextu. Badir in hearts, right?
But that's the story that you must be able to say.
So Badir in hearts in Nefesh Likis. And there's okay, so that's that Nekuda. But now, so Lefizeh he says, a Meir Dikavart. And this Vart is later here on the bottom of page 81. So through Yipakid Meshavecha, through the bittul, which bittul? The bittul Ayesh, the bittul Nefesh Bahamis, and the Chalki Ba'ilam, the Guf Chalki Ba'ilam. When we go down into there, through that bittul, so what is V'nifkadeta? That we get elevated to the highest level. But let's go back to the Pshut Nishal Maker. What does V'nifkadeta mean? You'll be remembered. Through the Neshama coming down to this world and dealing with Nefesh Bahamis and the Guf Chalki Ba'ilam and bringing bittul Ayesh, so they themselves are batul, what happens? Hashem remembers us. Whoa, 1 second. You're saying, I daven, Hashem forgets me. I learn Torah, Hashem forgets me. I go do a mitzvah, or I go eat, and I eat l'shem shamayim, and if Vatal the Yesh, right, the Nefesh Bahamis gets involved. I remember you. I'll stop davening. I'm saying, not that people look for excuses, yeah, but
Eat all day.
No excuses.
No, excuses are needed. I don't think people are looking for excuses. Like it sounds so crazy. So as long as the Nefesh Kiss is dealing with the Eibush there directly, Tefillah, not the element of explaining the Nefesh Bahamis. It's the Nefesh Kiss Alein, Limud Torah, all the good stuff, all the pure spiritual elements of life. Keli Lama Zaftani, we're forgotten. Ki Pakid Meishavecha. You're misakin the go of the Nefesh Bahamis, v'nifkadet, I remember you. What's pshat? Where's the Kishayla? So Rebbe has a Meir Dikavart. Bottom of 81. Ein shichach lefnei chisei chevaydecha. The Ibshal doesn't forget anything. So what does it mean? He remembers us. What we mean over here is what Mereda is mitzad heder tfisa smokim shel hanivroim. It goes here into nuance. We're talking about a level. We're talking about such a level in Elikus where nivroim are not toifas makim at all. First he says kiloi chashiv, and then nochecher, not kiloi chashiv, loi chashiv mamish. It's two dargas. I'm not going to get into there. Certain Maamar goes into that nuance. Talking about dargis koidim at tzimtzum. Talking about the tifa in yonim. There's kiloi chashiv and there's loi chashiv mamish. Kiloi chashiv, like because the poil, everything's bottled. No, but loi chashiv, the taka doesn't exist. It's not a perspective that doesn't exist. Taka doesn't exist. Loi chashiv mamish. So on that level, so mainly on the lower dargis, of course, there were tevis makim. There he cares about us. But after hecher dargis, dart nisht, right? As we say in the bar mitzvah maimer, there's a stira, right? We know from many mamarim. On the one hand, it says Tzori Yelad Choteshi Matishin Koicha Shel Maila. V'ata Yigdon Koyach Adnai Magdilin Koyach Shel Maila. Our mitzvahs are given koyach, our averis take away koyach. In other words, it bothers him. God cares. On the other hand, v'chi ichpas lei shachat min ha'oiref min ha'tzaver. Does he care if we shachted from the front, from the back? Abi geschachten. If he doesn't care about that, why does he care about for shechting? It's akasha. Like the details, details of Judaism. It's like that's right. Oh, yeah, even people on a scar event always bother. Like really, like this will God care? 6 hours, 1 hour. So, a little ripped tzitzis, like really, like take it easy, right? So does he care or does he not care? So the classic biur Chassidus gives had to be metavech the different Maamar Chazal. There's two darkness. In Memale he cares. In Soiv, he doesn't care. In the level of Elikos, it's connected to the Veld, where he had this relationship between us and him. So on that level, he cares. Like the father that's playing with the child. So in that mode, the father actually cares if his ball is caught. He cares if the kid, is playing. He goes down to his level. So it's like the martial arts Simpson, right? So there's in this space, it bothers him. He cares. But then dad leaves the room and goes back to his stuff, and like really couldn't really care who got more Lego first, or who was first, who was second. So there he doesn't care. There it's a bit petty. Chassidus goes tifer the mitzad atzmos fart. He does care, but that's already another. But the kuda is on that level where l'chayra he doesn't care, or in our context of our Maamar, where l'chayra we're not teifus mak. There's places that we're irrelevant. There's no world. If there's no world, we don't exist. We don't exist. The whole situation, the whole Yiddishkeit, on some level, isn't really teifus mak. Yet there is a space, even for Dirtin, for Atzmos and Mahos. There are certain things that we can do to tickle, to trigger him. What's that? Yipakin Meshevech. So in other places that we say Yipakin Meshevech is bittul, some will recommend that's in bittul, right? The mitzias, when you do something of a mitzias, you do an action. It can only affect a place that your mitzias is tevis makim. But bittul could go lamaila, or the bittul because they're in skala. Right. But here, we're not speaking about a regular bittul. What are we speaking about specifically? The bittul of the yesh. Bittul yesh. So here he says this part in 82 on the top. In order for that to be zikaron on that darga, is raka avoida idea avoida the bittul yesh. Maybe some of you have a different. You have the sefer. Okay, so it's the end of the keta.
Yeah, continue.
Yours makes a louder sound.
Yeah, here on the bottom of Reish Zayin and the top of Reish Ches. Through avoida bittul yesh. There was a poil where you poil bittul yesh. So here he says interessante Wort. I'm not 100%. I guess it's not hard to know. I'm wondering how they wrote it. I want to see it. Let me see how they wrote it over here. This is Lahak. Yeah. Let's see how they explained it. Yeah. What's the kunz of bittul yesh? So Pashtus the word of bittul yesh. Right, this is the word that's basically brought from the Haya Ekev and the Siche. The word of bittul yesh is that I'm able to go to something. I'm able to take a mitzvah that's not shaykh. Right? The has no shaykhs talikus. And give it a shaykhs, right? So you megal achdus yisbarach. The achdus of the Eibishter that every single thing is bottled. Here he goes a shtickle weiter. Or there's another word that doesn't say in other places. At least I haven't seen. Why is bittul yesh bring such a high gilui? Because what's happening when you do bittul yesh? You're taking the yesh, right? The yesh agashmi, the yesh, the human ego, and you're elevating it, and you're mivatal it. What's the yesh agashmi? How could yesh agashmi exist? So Chassidus teaches us that all the nivroim, all the dargas, and Ganseder Stalshlos, and all the malachim, and all the spheres, they are all ilav v'olu. They all come, they have a shoyrish, they have a makir. The yesh nivra The Yesh HaGashmi has no Mochor. Ein Le'ila V'siba, right? Where does Gashmi come from? It doesn't come from anywhere. There's no Mochor for Gashmi. Gashmi is kind of it starts over here. It has no Mochor. How did Shayach that something we created without a Mochor? What's the answer? That only Atzma she'ein le'ila v'siba can create Yesh HaGashmi that has no ila v'siba. Yeah. So the Rebbe says a murder kavart over here. So come to Ois. What's the strongest creation? The strongest thing that exists in all of Seder Shtalshlos? What's the strongest thing that exists in Gan Seder Shtalshlos? You! The pashtos, we're the weakest things. Because we're home is dependent on, we're nobody. We're Batik. This home is a Gashmi, it's a Dimyan, it's on a real Metzias, it's all just the Varvai, but there's no way of looking at it. Everything else is here. There's an Ilav V'Ol. It has a Shodesh. And that Shodesh is Giluyim. What's our Shodesh? Atzmos. Atzmos creates you. If Atzmos does something, there's no one stronger than Atzmos. There's no one greater than Atzmos. So the only that exists here mitzad Atzmos is the greatest Metzias. I'm not a Metzias that's just go wishy-washy and whatever, one Gili from another Gili Elam. We're the real deal.
Maskana, narcissism is the way everyone should be.
Narcissism, very good. Narcissism, ego, in a way, is the strong, and that's why ego is so strong. That's why when you touch someone's ego, people could really go crazy, like give it all up for their ego. Why? Because it's Atzmos. It's a perverted version and expression of Atzmos. But it's Atzmos. The koyach of the Nivra is Atzmos. Now, when you now go and you're mevatel the yesh, what's happening? You're doing something incredible. You're doing something incredible. You're not just taking something like we said, from Avayekif. You're not just taking something that is not shayach to likus, and you're making that also shayach to likus. It's not just not shayach to likus. It's not shayach to likus with a toikif. By designing with a toikif, it's Atzmos made it that way. The fact that he's a Helam Hester is an Atzmos in the Koda. Atzmos is the one behind him. To take an Atzmos tchuna, an expression of Atzmos in this world, and flip it and play around with it. How do you do that? How could you win Atzmos? How could you win something so essential, so strong? Such a thing that hits Atzmos. That's like, it's got to keep up in Mishavecha. Even in the darga of loy chash, not just kiloi chashiv, loy chashiv. The chayr, nothing exists. Nothing has any meaning. Regular Torah mitzvahs, it's a very dark gavar, but the chayr is on this. Regular Torah mitzvahs on this level is not teifas malkin. Being a chassidish, good Jew, not so teifas malkin. You go and you start playing with that ego, and you go start playing with the yesh hanivra, and you break it, it's like, wow, this guy's awesome. Like, how do you do that? How are you able to change something so strong? Dear Atzmos remembers. Now, he doesn't say this in the Maamar, but the word is, how taka could I do it? How taka is it shaykh? Because we're Mochor and Atzmos. So we're Mochor and Atzmos, so Mela, Atzmos is able to deal with Atzmos. Right? I don't want to use the word Atzmos too much because then you start losing your train of thought. The point is, because at the end of the day, the Neshama is Mochor and Atzmos. The Neshama Begilu is Atzil is Tahir here, but higher than Tahir before. Because at the core, Be'etzim, the Neshama is Ein Zachim that's Mosi Yizbarach. So that's why the Neshama is number one able to do that kind of level of Ishapche. It has that koyach to transform everything. But more importantly, it's able to access that point. Okay, so you're a Nivra, you're Atzmos, okay. That's why you're so strong. But let me be Megala what that really means. If you're Taka Nivra Mitzad Atzmos, then right now that's expressing itself in ego and narcissism. But what is it really? It's the Eibishter, it's Atzmos Tumos. So we break it. So on the one hand, it's so strong. It's Acheni. We put it in touch with its inner strength. It's real reality.